Scout Backstage View here with Bryan Sutton. So great to finally get to talk with you, Bryan, right off the bat. Congratulations for all your success, and tell me about Hot Rise right now is just killing it, and you guys you're playing over. We're on Labor Day weekend now. You guys got 3 gigs in 3 days and 3 great festivals. Tell me about what's happening.
Well, yeah, I guess the main thing is, we're out touring, playing festivals, and it's always great, these sort of late summer festivals, anytime between sort of mid-July all the way up to September, kind of where we are now. Just such a great span of festivals all over the country, and it's always great to kind of hit all of them. But anyway, as far as Hot Rise goes, we've got our 40th anniversary CD and project, also available in vinyl as of today. August the 30th is when we're doing this, or this is the 31st. August 31st. We don't know, but it's vinyl is available no matter what as soon as you see this. So that's cool. It's a big double vinyl, kind of big artwork kind of project, and so that's cool. So, and this whole project's been fun to put together. I mean, again, I didn't start with the band, right?
Yeah,
so,
I was going to ask you to mention a few words about that.
So not being an original member, I've always just come at this as a fan first. If anything, I'm as big a fan of Hot Rise as anybody is. So to be sort of on the inside and help make this project happen. And just sort of see those guys, Nick and Tim and Pete, kind of honored in a good way with a project like that has been a really cool thing to be a part of.
Can you tell us about when you first, how you met Hot Rise? You were pretty young at the time, I know.
Yeah, well, there was sort of informal meetings at some festivals and things around North Carolina where I grew up. I saw the band for the first time in 1989 at Doyle Lawson's Festival in Denton, North Carolina. And then it was probably about 6 or 8 years later. I was now sort of a young budding pro musician and moving to Nashville and got the gig with Ricky Skaggs. And it was, through that connection, just kind of being ushered into the full pro bluegrass scene. Got to meet, Hot Rise was already disbanded at this point, but got to meet Nick and Tim and Pete and Charles a little bit. Never got to talk a whole lot to Charles, just some very sort of light casual things, but worked some with Tim, especially in the studios, and toured with Tim a little bit in the kind of late 90s, early 2000s. And so anyway, I've known the guys for a long time, and of course now it's weird to say, but been in the band 16 years.
You're the new guy.
I'm still the new guy.
Well, the one thing I really wanted to ask you is, as it's known, you've won the best guitar player of the year for how many times?
It's 10 total.
10 total. Well, I think 2 times ago you came out at the IBMA and you read off a list of other great guitarists that should be noted. And I thought that was just really just so awesome for you to do. What made you decide to do that?
Well, first off, I mean, the thing I'm the most proud of with all that kind of stuff is the nominations, which means just I'm really proud to just be sort of considered in the conversation from year to year as far as what bluegrass is and what kind of music people are making. And, so coupled with bluegrass is not a huge genre compared to other sort of mass commercial kind of scenes. And so, we all know that there are tons of great players out there. And sometimes the IBMA discussion tends to sort of, especially when I was experiencing a lot of that in the 2000s, early 2000s, kind of seeing the same names year after year after year after year. And again, I love it. And so I have to be a part of it. But I'm also a guy that enjoys sharing and enjoys this idea that to keep bluegrass alive and kind of thriving, we got to keep, really not just talking about the next generation, but really honoring them in a way and recognizing them in a way of like, yeah, this is really something important to check out. So I just wanted to be sort of part of that conversation too.
Well, that was such a nice, great thing to do. And some of the people that you mentioned on it today are just so big on the scene, from Molly Tuttle, who took the award recently, Billy Strings, who whenever we get to hear him say anything, he just can't believe when he's just always so excited to be playing and having you around. And so who are some of the other people that we should be looking out for right now?
Well, Presley Barker's still, he's still getting older. I think about the time I was making that speech, he was maybe 10 or 11 years old, and he's 13 or 14 now. And the Mile 12 band that was just up here on this festival a little while ago, Evan Murphy's a great guitar player in that band. Gosh, now you got me on the spot. Before I had a chance to kind of write this whole list out.
That's okay.
But there's so many great players out there.
Tell us about your band, the Bryan Sutton Band.
Right. Well, part of me sort of in the last 4 or 5 years is kind of figuring out how to sort of drift from just sort of being a sideman for a lot of people. I'd spent most of my 15 to 20 years in the music business just being a sideman, playing everybody else's songs basically. And again, completely still do that and enjoy it, but I wanted to figure out whatever it is that I do and work on that. So the Bryan Sutton Band came from an initial spark of just trying to write songs and trying to sing more, and then make this record that was a little more vocal featured. I'd made guitar records for the last 10 or 15 years, but so yeah, just to sort of feel like what I'd been putting off for a lot of years, which was assuming more of that role. I was tired of putting that off, so here we are.
All right, well, how about lastly, tell us about Artist Works.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Artist Works has been one of the really fun things in my life here over the last, this is in the 7th year now. And it's an online teaching platform where people interact with me directly. It's not real time, but what you get as a subscriber or student to that site is it's like 100 and some videos broken down into either song breakdowns or little components, what I think are the most important things to work on as far as bluegrass guitar and flat picking. A lot of mechanics and fundamentals that go a long way in this style of guitar playing. But anyway, it's been a great, again, sort of just to help be a part of a conversation of how folks can really get inside what flat picking is all about. And this Artist Works platform is really, to me, the best way that people can learn on the internet these days, because it's video based, but the exchange back and forth with me to get,
You're actually
yeah,
taking their videos, breaking it down, and communicating back, not just to them, but to everybody.
Yeah, so again, the curriculum's on there, but a student has the opportunity to send a video of themselves working on whatever it is they're working on, and I make a response video to that. And then the whole community sees that, so it's sort of this virtual masterclass situation that's going on, and I really believe in that wholeheartedly.
Where do you get all the time for everything? I mean, it's got to take so much time.
It gets a little crammed occasionally, but generally, if I've learned anything in the last 25 years of music businesses, is to sort of value my time as much as I can, especially at home with the family, and along with that, just making sure I don't get overcommitted. I've done that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better at that.
Well, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it, and we'll be looking for you on Artist Works for Bryan Sutton Band, and of course, Hot Rides.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you.